Good morning. Since we've been reading about Solomon in our Old Testament readings, we now read from Ecclesiastes, a book written by him. We read this morning the first 3 chapters. In it, he expresses the temporary nature and the pointlessness of life on earth. He says that people live and die, and whatever they achieve is passed on to other generations or lost forever. That in a sense, that if all your life, if everything you have is centered here on earth, then there is a meaningless to it. The best you can do is to work and live and enjoy the blessings God gives you. Now, in one sense, that's really good advice. We should enjoy this present time, and we should enjoy the presents and the gifts that God gives to us. But it's not enough, because what about those people who are subject to injustice? What about those who suffer times of trial? He comes into chapter 3 and he says, God will bring into judgment both the righteous and the wicked. There will be a time for every activity, a time to judge every deed. He also acknowledges in chapter 3 that God has set eternity in our hearts. That one of the reasons we're not satisfied with this life is that we know there is more. We know that there is eternal ages just beyond this life. He writes later on, who knows whether the spirit of an animal goes down to the earth and the spirit of a human rises upwards. But of course he does know that, because God has set eternity in his heart. And so as he writes this and talks about the times and seasons that we go through in our lives, he is actually saying, if this life is all there is, then it is pointless and meaningless. The very existence of our life and our nature points us to consider eternity. God has set eternity in our hearts. We know there's more than just this life. And therefore, though we will enjoy God's blessings here, we will strive for that which is eternal. And we'll see as we go through this book, this theme developing as he looks more and more at how to get the best out of this life, but also that there is more than this. Because if this is all there is, it is frankly meaningless. So the writer of Ecclesiastes, Solomon, is pointing us to eternity. Let's also focus our eyes on that which is eternal.